Controversy. That is what shall be stirred on this episode of the No Excuses Coaching Podcast. Alanna Banks, are you scared?
No, I'm
Not scared. Boldly into the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I like shocking, controversial content.
Awe, shock and awe, hearts and minds. Yeah, so the deal is, still talking about social media, by the way. Of course, this is the social media season. And there's a lot of stuff people are doing on social media. And here's the thing. Here's what really this comes down to. It takes just as much time to do something well as it takes to do something not so well in many cases. And that's the name of the game. Because we can make a lot of episodes on how to, the tactics and strategies of being successful on social media. And a lot of them are going to take energy and learning and time. And some of them might even take a little bit of money. But today we want to talk about the stuff that it will take you no additional energy whatsoever, no additional time whatsoever, and no additional money whatsoever to do it right rather than to do it wrong. And we're going to go through as many of them as we can in the length of this episode.
Yeah, I love that. It's so important because one of my biggest pet peeves is people that are like just carelessness is probably one of my biggest pet peeves. And I think there's that fine line between being careless and just putting that extra effort that's only going to take maybe 1 or 2 or 3 extra seconds, that fine line that I'm talking about. Yeah. And that matters. That really matters.
If it takes an extra 3 seconds, then that's outside of the scope of this episode, Alanna. We're talking about stuff that takes no amount of time longer than doing it wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. It's you can take the 3 seconds to do it with care, or you could, take 3 seconds to do it carelessly. It's going to take you the same amount of time regardless, but why not put a little bit of care into it? It's the example of cooking, right? If you cook something and you just kind of splosh it all together or whatever the word is, or you put food together with love and care, which one tastes better?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's what my view is on this whole thing.
I think
what I'm saying is I agree.
You moved the needle away from the understanding of the episode with this bizarre.
I told you I was going in blind.
Yeah, that's true. To be clear, this episode was my episode idea. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just get into it. Alanna Banks, number one. I actually made a reel about this on Instagram today, I think. No, it was yesterday I made it, but it's blowing up. And it takes just as much time and energy to have decent lighting when you take a video of yourself as it does to have lousy lighting when you take a video of yourself. You don't need to set up spotlights. You don't need to set up ring lights. You don't need to break down a wall or whatever it is that people think they got to do to have decent lighting. You just need to have, the rule of thumb is there needs to be more light in front of you than behind you.
Yes.
There needs to be more light in front of you than behind you. So if wherever you're standing, you're about to record yourself, that's not the case, all you have to do is turn around.
Yeah.
It takes no more time to have more light in front of you. And, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my Instagram at Ryan Montes NLP and look at the reel where, and I literally do it on camera. I move from bad lighting to good lighting back and forth really quickly, really easily.
Yeah. And it's such a game changer. And everyone has a nice big window in their home, I'm guessing, unless you live in the basement, in a basement apartment, in which case just go and do your content outside.
Yeah. But you don't even need a nice big window, like a window, right? Or just go to the most well-lit portion of the whatever building or space you're in, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing. It's not for me, folks. Not for me. it's for you, right? Because your audience will watch more often and watch longer if you have decent lighting. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Boom.
a, you know,
That one's done.
that's an easy one.
Okay. Next one. And we talked about this before we hit record. If you are writing something on social media, you're making a little infographic, you're making a little carousel post, you're making a little something with writing. If your writing is dark in color, the background that it's on should be light in color.
Yes.
And the reverse is true. If your writing is white, the background should be dark or black, right? Contrast.
Yes.
Important.
Very important. And make sure that the written content, if it's on a reel or something like that, like not in the caption, is in frame.
Yes.
Too. Like, don't have it spilling off the side, or like those lines are there for a reason. When you bump up against the line and it lights up, that's like telling you don't go past that line. Yeah. Right? So keep it all in frame. Keep it tight in the middle. And actually, I think I read this or heard this, but the way your eye pattern goes when you're reading something is it goes to the right and then down. So if you are putting written content in your reels or like in your stories or something like that, or you're wanting to like put something somewhere so that people see it, put it at the top right or the bottom right, because that's naturally where people's eyes go.
Boom. Top right or bottom right. Cool. Got it. Okay, so decent lighting, easy. Contrasting colors for text, easy, right? And size, make it big enough for people to read. Okay. Yeah. The next one is, this one is actually, it takes less time to do it right than to do it in a way that people won't appreciate as much. And that is the rule that when it comes to text and captions, much of the time, less is going to be more.
Yeah.
If you can distill your text, you can distill your explanations, you can distill your information into as few words as possible. And we're talking about the context of social media. I'm not talking about the great American novel. We're talking about social media, captions, infographics, carousels. The less words, the better. And again, it's not for me. It's not because it's my preference. It's because more people will read it. People want to consume information quickly and efficiently in the context of social media. Yeah.
And what I would add to that too is ask yourself, like when you're writing this, I always think like, so what? Like, why am I sharing this? Like, so what? Or like, what does that mean for the person reading? Right? Because like sometimes I can be a little bit, when I'm writing, I can be a little bit up here and I'm pointing to like above my head. And I'm just like, what am I trying to say here, Alanna? Like, so what? What does this mean for the person? Like, what does that actually mean? You know, like I was writing something before we got on recording and it was like something about the cosmic heart. And I was literally like reading what I had written and laughing at myself because I was just like, what does this actually mean? Like, what are you talking about, the cosmic heart? So distill it, you know, pretend you're talking to a child.
Yeah. 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 Make it simple. Make it easy to consume. Yeah. A piece of content, rarely is it necessary for a piece of content to answer more than one question, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Create one curiosity, satisfy that one curiosity. There's your one piece of content. Boom.
Done. Love it.
What do we got next? Let's have a look. By the way, it takes just as much time to write your name in your bio as it takes to write anything other than your name. And the correct answer is your name.
Yeah.
In the spot that says name in Instagram or Facebook, at minimum, you should have your name, your first name. And hopefully
put your last name too. Like I was looking up something yesterday on Instagram because I wanted to share it with a friend, and this particular person, they just had their first name. And I was like, there's how many of this name in the world? Like you need to have your first name and your last name.
I'll give people a pass if it's just a first name, because a lot of people, are safety conscious and privacy conscious. I personally have my last name,
Hmm.
and so I do that. But I'm talking about those folks that don't have their first name. If
Hmm.
people don't
Yeah.
know how to address you, they're just not going to address you, right?
Yeah.
So it really can be a hindrance if you're offering a product or service, right? It sends the wrong message. Then
Yeah.
there's a name spot for a reason. Okay, we got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. We got that one.
We got that one.
Well, here's a good one. Here's something you can do quick is reply to comments. I think we already talked about this at one point, but
Yeah.
interacting with your followers, being social, replying to comments, that takes no time, really. Unless, you're super famous and you have like tens of thousands of comments coming through.
Yeah.
Um,
Once
but
you hit celebrity status, people are a little more understanding if you don't respond to their comments, right?
yeah,
But unless if you're not a celebrity, and here's where it takes just as much time to do it well as it does to do it not so great. It takes just as much time to respond enthusiastically and politely as it does to respond passively and mechanically,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
People can sense whether there's genuine gratitude in your responses and comments or not, right? So if you're going to respond, be enthusiastic and be polite and show gratitude.
yeah. Be unique too with like how you're responding. Like, don't just be like robotic about it
Yeah.
too, right? Like shock and awe.
Shock. Yeah. Yeah. Shock and awe. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we got that. Normally we do like little summaries as we're going along, but I don't we're not really keeping track of these and we're just kind of banging them off. So
Yeah, and I don't know if I totally remember
I don't
what we've
remember.
just talked about.
Yeah.
That's
So
the past, man.
yeah. Yeah.
Do-
Exactly. Live in the now. All right. Let's see. You know what? It takes just as much time or less time to not share a whole bunch of memes and quotes and stuff and content that you did not make as
Yes.
to just share one meaningful post that you did make, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Some of my favorite friends on Instagram are the ones that post kind of jokes and memes and stuff that really, really that are my style of humor. And I love that they do that. But they also generally tend to be not the ones who are attracting clients.
Yeah.
Their account is a personal account and it's for fun. The people I know who are attracting clients on social media and it's a professional account that attracts clients, the majority of their content is original content. They're not reposting stuff. They're not posting quotes from other people. They're not posting funny memes or, content because it matches their opinion or et cetera, et cetera. It's content that's designed to provide value and therefore attract clients and
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing that you taught recently
Yeah.
in your simple social sanctuary
Yeah.
was core messages, which I think is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Because if you have a list of 10 core messages, it could be core messages, it could be core beliefs that you have, it could be, things that you care deeply about. Just have those listed out in your notes on your phone or on a piece of paper. And then if you don't know what to post on a given day, just go to that list and then it'll spark an idea, those core
Yeah.
messages, those core beliefs that you have.
Such a good point. Yeah. Yeah. That's very important. Yeah. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Love it.
And then that's how you create original content. And that's how you avoid going to like meme land and just reposting,
Yeah.
right? Or finding a quote. Like, this is my big thing right now. I don't know if it's just like the season or what, but I'm seeing like all this regurgitated content and quotes that like the people are posting a quote, but then are giving it zero context. So it's
Yeah.
just like big deal. Like, yes, I know I create my own reality. Everybody knows that. But so what? Like, what's your take on it? Why are you posting this? Why are you sharing that information? Like, everybody knows that. Stop posting that stuff.
Yeah.
Give your take on it. What is your original spin on the fact that you create your reality? Do you coach on that? How do you walk your clients through that? Like, there's so many different types of content that you can create based off of that one quote. Don't just share it.
Yeah. Does it that and what you're describing is the difference between curating and reposting.
Yeah.
Reposting, if you have a service to provide, reposting is not a great idea. Curating content, giving your take, explaining why it's important and connecting it to your service, that's actually not a bad idea in moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Okay. Next thing that takes just as easy to do well as to do poorly. Posting a link in your bio or anywhere that the link will be visible.
Mm-hmm.
Do not post one of these like forms.google.com/uppercase X lowercase r 37 asterisk and it's 100 characters long. Those links are scary. Nobody wants to click those. They look painful, go to a service like bit.ly or any of the million free link shorteners. It'll take you 5 seconds. You put your big cumbersome scary link in there, and then it's like it gives you another link that's like bit.ly/beautiful link, and then you put that where people are going to see it to click on it. And more people, literally, I promise you, I guarantee you, more people will click on it. Yeah. And it'll give you the benefits of those things will actually like track your clicks and it's so much better. It won't take you any more time to do this, everybody.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
I feel like the link thing right now is a bit messed up on Instagram specifically because they have that, like, you can put in your own links now. So I removed my link tree and now I just have like these like 4 links that are attached to my Instagram, but I don't like the way it looks. So I have to like change it back to having a link tree.
Yeah, I've stuck with my existing link tree because it required less effort than me re-inputting the links into the. So what Alanna's talking about is now on Instagram used to be limited to one link in your bio. And so a lot of people would go have it linked to a link tree, which is a separate little mini site that has more links in it. But now Instagram for a lot of users is letting you have up to 5 links right in your bio. Mm-hmm. And so the mistake that I'm seeing is people are using that multiple links in their bio, and then one of those links is going to a link tree, and now they have this complicated link network originating in their bio, and it's way too much. Keep it simple, folks.
Yeah, just have one link.
Yeah, one link, or if you have one link, you can have it to a link tree, but don't have multiple profile links leading to link trees and, the whole complicated system of links. Yeah. The simpler, the better generally. And often just one link that is your most important, that's usually a good idea for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So there we go. We covered links.
What about captions? Like, I know this is maybe taking us away from the original idea, but I mean, putting in captions on your videos doesn't really take that much extra time. In fact, if you don't even want to take the extra time to use an app like Captions or...
Yeah, like captions as in the writing across the video that says what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you don't want to do that, you can actually turn on captions in your settings on Instagram. So if like you don't want to take the extra time to do captions, you can technically just use that.
Yeah, you can have auto captions for most social media platforms now. Takes pretty much no more time than posting your actual video. And I would say captions 2023 mandatory.
100% mandatory. And most people don't have their sound on when they're looking at their Instagram, right? So that's why captions are even more, because when I see a video and it doesn't have captions, chances are like 90% of the time I'm watching this stuff with no sound. Yeah. I just scroll right by you because I'm like, oh, I don't want to turn the sound on right now because I don't know, I might be like watching TV or I might be in bed and like trying to keep things quiet right? So it's just like, don't do that.
Yeah. Or you're hiding and you don't want to be found, and you're looking at your phone. Um, what'll happen with me is my phone is on silent all the time. All the time, my phone is on silent. And so if I'm watching stories or reels, if there's no caption, I'll just skip it.
Yep.
Somebody's talking. If there is a caption, what will happen, and I'm sure this happens with lots of people too, is I'll start reading the captions. And if I realize the person's talking about something that I'm actually interested, I'll turn the sound on.
Same.
And I'll consume their video and I'll enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
But if they didn't have those captions, like I'm not going to pause on every video and like turn the sound on, and then because I like to have the sound on my phone completely disabled by default.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and another thing that I do is like if I'm in a situation where I can't put the sound on, I'll save it. And then I go back, and I actually do go back and watch my saved stuff for later.
Yeah.
I know some people, it just gets in the abyss of saved posts, but I do go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Love it. Okay. Hashtags, just as little time to do like 2 or 3 simple, straightforward hashtags. Actually, it takes less time than to like do this mountain of like 50 every conceivable like remotely connected hashtag. That's kind of fallen out of style. And the way these social media platforms are working now, they have speech recognition, they have language recognition. Like as soon as you upload it, even if you don't put the hashtag, Instagram, Facebook, they know what your reel is about. They know what your content is about.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and like
go viral,
I think, yeah, and I think now they're like crawling even your caption, right, for specific keywords. So from what I've been hearing, like if you just put in 4 to 5 hashtags, that's all that's necessary. You don't need to be putting in, like Ryan said, like 25 hashtags anymore, like back in the day.
Yeah. And a lot of people are, a lot of the social media experts are saying it actually will damage your credibility to put too many hashtags because it appears
spammy.
They use the word spammy or desperate. Right? I'm not saying that per se. I don't know. I can't read people's minds and tell you how people will perceive that. But I can get it. Like I can, it does feel like pretty 2017 to like see 100 hashtags.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So that's hashtags. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're almost out of time.
I think we're almost out of time.
Yeah, let's do one or two more.
Oh, emojis.
That's what I was looking at.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on doing emojis right?
I mean, I love emojis. I think emojis are good. I think you got to be careful with the emoji use, but I think that emojis subconsciously communicate that you have a bit of personality and like you're fun. I think it also breaks up text too. Like it's nice to kind of like read and then, oh, it's a little emoji. That's funny. And then you keep reading. So I think you have to use them, but minimally. Like you don't want to, because I feel if you overuse the emojis, then you also look spammy or like it's like a fake account or something like that too.
Yeah. You don't want to overuse them. Use them sparingly, but yeah, use them. They tend to make your writing a little bit more readable, if you have them in your captions or if you have them in your text. They are one of the things that'll make it more readable. My advice to the world, especially in your bio, is avoid emojis that have anything to do with money, profit, stock market, or anything like that, like a dollar sign emoji. Or there's this like stock market that shows like this graph going up. Avoid these emojis, especially in your bio, because they've become associated with scammers. And a lot of people, even if you're an honest person, if I see a dollar sign or stock market or like there's a certain handful of emojis, if I see them in a bio, that's an instant red flag. Because I know 9 out of 10 bios that have those, it's connected to a spam or scam.
Yeah.
There's a pro tip on emojis. And if you want to really scam people, make sure you don't use those emojis. You can really trick. No, I know scammers won't be listening to this podcast anyways, but you don't want to be perceived as something that you're not accidentally. But otherwise, like, as Alanna said, they're a way to inject a little bit of personality here and there. They're
Yeah.
really, throw a banana emoji in there, throw a smile face, whatever. I don't know. Have fun.
Yeah, just have fun with them. I mean, I kind of have my go-to emojis. So I think that like for branding purposes is
Oh,
nice too.
I'm curious what I'm gonna pull up my recently used emojis. I'll tell you like my five last used emojis if you tell me yours.
Okay.
So my five last used emojis in my Apple ecosystem are purple heart, which makes sense because I use purple heart a lot.
Yeah.
Fire. I use
Mm-hmm.
the fire emoji a lot. And my recent five is an evergreen tree. And that's because sometimes, and those of you that are listening, you might know I have a new really cool membership
Yeah.
called the Simple Social Sanctuary. And when I write that out, sometimes in emails, I'll put this little evergreen emoji tree next to it. Go to ryanmontes.com/simple social if you're interested in learning about the Simple Social Sanctuary. And then I have the like bicep flexing emoji.
Yeah.
That's number 4. I use that one a lot. And then the hands together emoji, which I call it the thank you emoji, but I've had some people tell me it's the praying emoji. I wonder if I click on it. Oh, and Apple doesn't specify which it is. Apple just literally calls it the hands pressed together emoji. But I put this for like gratitude or like
Yeah, same.
thank you, right? I sent it to somebody one time and they were like, "Oh, you're so religious." And I was like, "I am not at all. This just means thank you," right? But anyway, so those are my 5. What are your 5?
I use a yellow heart always.
Yellow heart. Yeah.
Always use the party emoji. Like, the one wearing the hat and he's like blowing
Oh yeah, the celebration emoji.
yeah, I use
Yeah.
that. The smiley face with the heart eyes.
Smiley face with hard eyes. Okay, yeah.
And then the smiley face that's red and it's got like a tear and like its tongue sticking out.
Oh, I didn't even know. It's got a tear and its tongue.
It's a red smiley face.
It's red.
Uh-huh.
No, this is not a thing.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a smiley face?
It's not
Oh, it's like it's not, but it's not smiling. It's like sad. It's like exhausted face.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a smiley face.
That's
But how
under
about
my
smiley?
frequently used. That's
Why is
under
that one under your frequently used?
I don't know.
A bleak look into the life of Alanna Banks. Um, okay, yeah, I know that one.
I also love using the dancing girl with the red
With the
dress.
red dress. Yeah, that one's good sometimes.
Um, and then the laughing emoji. I prefer the laughing one that doesn't have the tears. Like it's just laughing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's so many choices for laughing.
So many.
There's even the nervous laugh that has like the bead of sweat coming on the forehead.
Oh, I don't think I know that one. Oh,
You do?
that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
nervous
That's
laugh.
nervous laugh.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Maybe we should do a whole episode on emojis.
The emoji episode?
Yeah, I love that.
Maybe. Maybe.
You know which one I love, just before we wrap up, is the one with like the monocle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I use that one. That one's
That's
on
under
the
my frequently used.
that one's on the info page for the Simple Social Sanctuary.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah. There's also the like the fake mustache and eyebrows with glasses
I've
emoji.
never used that one.
I don't use that one often, but it's available to you if you need to communicate that message.
What would that be?
Let's see. Okay, we got to go in a second, but how does Apple describe it? Apple describes it as the disguised face emoji. So take that.
So I guess if you're disguising, like you're having a conversation about like something shady.
Yeah, I don't think we need to explain all of it. We don't need to break down all. We'll save that for the emoji episode, whenever that will be. And yeah, Okay,
Actually,
cool.
listeners, tell us, do you want us to do an emoji episode? Let us know.
I am genuinely curious.
I
There's a
am
lot of
too.
emojis. I mean, there is politics attached to emojis as well. Like, um, you could talk quite a bit about emojis and like what emojis have been quietly removed
Which ones you
from the
shouldn't
emoji
use?
catalog over the years, and there have been some.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And which ones are just like out of fashion that you wouldn't use?
Well, which ones are out of fashion, but also which ones are, does Instagram kind of flag?
Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. So I guess that's it. So
That's it.
I mentioned it a few times in this episode. Simple Social Sanctuary has opened, accepting new members now. This is my highly accessible but highly valuable social media membership and community. So if you want support, you want to really ramp up your social media effectiveness without working harder than you need to, ryanmontes.com/simple social.
Yeah, it's great. I'm in the community too.
Yeah, Alanna Banks is there too. A lot of great people in the community. Just opened it on Friday. Already have a lot of new members, a lot of people jumping in, which I'm really excited about. And we're having a lot of fun. What do you got going on there, Banks?
I'm planning a retreat for November. So
Boom.
more details are going to be coming up on that, but it's going to be in Collingwood, Ontario. And that's all the information I have at the moment, but stay tuned for more details.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of it right now.
Love it. Cool. All right. Everybody go buy a mug, and that's it.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.